DaVinci, and welcome to a special episode of Dragon's Breath that is totally fueled entirely by ADHD. Today I have the lovely, the bearded, the bald, the English teacher, like most of us, Mr. Brian Ericksen with us. Mr. Ericksen, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
How are you feeling about this?
I'm excited and nervous, but mostly excited.
Good. People always want to know, how do you handle your spice?
I don't.
Excellent. That's the best answer.
So this is going to go from pasty white to crimson by the end of this. So I'm excited and scared.
Excellent. That's exactly how I like it. You know how it goes, DaVinci. You guys sent in questions. I got a lot of questions, and I try to get them to your teacher so you can figure out the things you want to know about them. Let's get started. First, let's go with our first wing. This is I Don't Want to Be a Pirate. It is a... What did I make this out of? This is super limey. I was gonna... It's full of... So you don't become a scurvy pirate. That's why it's called I Don't Want to Be a Pirate.
No scurvy.
So very limey, serranos, and Anaheim peppers.
All right, we're going to start here in the center.
Cool. All right. Cheers.
Definitely taste a lemon.
Mm-hmm.
It's good though.
This is my happy chicken dance that I do for the first few wings before reality sits in.
Forgot how much this spice is going to stick in my beard.
Oh, yeah. So, for those of you out there who have beards, you know what it is like when the soup gets in your beard, and then later that day you realize there's still soup in your beard, and you're a little upset and a little grossed out and a little embarrassed, but you also are pretty happy because it's soup and it tastes good. So, our first question today comes from many people. And they want to know, where did you learn Spanish?
So I learned Spanish in El Salvador, serving an LDS mission at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great experience. Like, learning the language was a lot of fun. A lot of nice people, a lot of interesting people. Very small country. It's about the size of Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's let's see here. We have Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, Panama, and it's right there, right?
So here's our little map.
Mm-hmm.
So here's North America.
Yeah.
Mexico comes down, and the Yucatan Peninsula is right here. So here's Guatemala, Belize, and you've got Honduras right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side of it, to the south, to the Pacific Ocean, is El Salvador. And
Okay.
then you've got Nicaragua and Costa Rica and Panama, and then South America, Colombia, all that good stuff.
Cool. While you're there, what was your favorite food? I always like to know, when people who go out, what's the best food?
Oh, pupusas. Hands
Okay,
down.
I thought 100% you would say that.
Yeah, go to Costa del Sol. They have the best pupusas in Ogden so far. I've been to 3 or 4 different places. They've got the best ones. So, Spanish class gets to go. But
how hard was it? I learned French, and it took me about a month of immersion to be able to. I started dreaming in French, and a couple months to feel comfortable with it.
I started feeling comfortable at about 6 months, but like it's super easy because it is a Latin and Romance language. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the more like scientific terms are the same.
Yeah.
So once you find a word that has a Latin reference, it's pretty easy, and your vocabulary just explodes. But once you get into like the command form and telling people to do things and hypotheticals, that's when Spanish starts to get a little difficult. But really, like, it's a great language. It's super fun. And I like it. No offense, but French sucks.
I mean, you would say that.
I would.
I have mixed feelings on French. I love French, and if you can figure out how to insult somebody in French, because it's hard. You can say mean, nasty, horrible things to people in French, and people are like, oh, it's so lovely. You tell somebody like that they're real good looking in German, and you get slapped in the face.
Right.
Do you have any Spanish, like when you came back, or anytime when you want a particular word to be Spanish instead of the English version? Because there are certain English words I just don't like. I don't like the word why. I like the French word pourquoi, because it means for what, and that makes way more sense to me.
So for me, like the thing I like best about Spanish for that is the different levels of affection.
Yeah.
So in English we've got I like you, I love you.
Yeah.
Right. But in Spanish you've got te amo, te quiero, like me caes bien. So you have sort of that that third one, because like me caes bien is like I like you as a friend.
Yeah.
Right?
And then there's like I like you.
Yeah, and then there's te quiero, which is it can be love, but it's also like I really like you, and then you got te amo, which is I love you, right? In that romantic and familiar thing, right? Because there's like I love like my friends, and I tell them that I love them all the time.
Yeah,
but like it's a different love than the love I give my wife, right?
It better be.
And so, so in English we don't have a different word for that, but in Spanish there is te quiero mi amigo, right?
Yeah.
And then versus te amo mi esposa.
Yeah.
So that's. And then with the Spanglish thing, that's a documented thing. Like Spanglish, there's a movie called Spanglish.
It has Adam Sandler in it.
Yes.
I watched that and I thought it was going to be a comedy, and it wasn't very funny.
It's not. No.
It's not.
It
was good, but I was not expecting it.
Yeah. No, when Adam Sandler wants to act, he does a great job.
It's surprising because he's made the same movie 50 times where he's a man-child who's suddenly good at a thing.
Yep.
And then for some reason he's a hero. All right, let's move on to our next one. This is Bert's Berserker's Rage Blackberry Ghost Peppers, made by a company out here in Ogden. You can get this one at Smith & Edwards. I like this sauce a lot. I've had multiple bottles of it of my own, so I thought we'd at least enjoy a thing for the time. Berserker. Plus, it sounds cool.
This is so I think it's Odin, but it's also from like a chess game that they do in Nordic countries.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like a chess figure.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I didn't know that. I just thought it was a random idol-looking deal.
No, he's I think he's Odin, but he's definitely like a Nordic chess guy. So.
Huh. All right. Cheers.
Salud.
Oh, I tried to catch my drip and made it worse.
Ooh. I like the cranberry.
Mm-hmm. We were saying earlier this is going to be the wiggliest episode of the show yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's one I like a lot.
I feel like it's got just a little bit of back end heat.
Yeah.
All right. This next question comes from a few people, but particularly Brianna Taylor wants to know what your favorite part of teaching is.
Oh man, for me, it's when the I get it moment happens.
Yeah, right? yeah.
When you're talking and you're like, do you see this? And then the lights turn on, the eyes
go up like this, and
they're like, I get it. And then they do it, and you're like, yes. And you see it, and it's just boom. Like seeing someone else succeed.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like, and it's not like it feels good to me that like I was able to help them there, but I'm more happy that they succeeded.
Yeah. Today we were writing the day. And John, who's over there manning camera one, hi John, put a couple things together and had some ideas, and it's the best moment when the kid goes, oh, and wants to share what they're getting. There are days when teaching is real hard, and the I get it moments are my favorite, which brings me to the next one. What's your least favorite part about teaching that you can talk about?
Sending negative emails home.
Oh yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
It sucks because it's like, look, there's got to be consequences, and you want them to succeed. You want the person to do well, but when they're bringing everybody down, you're like, this has got to end. And the best way to do that sometimes is to contact parents. And I hate those emails. Yeah, not my favorite.
Or those phone calls.
Yeah,
I hate the phone calls more than the emails.
Oh yeah, phone calls. Can't do. I hate phone calls so much. So yeah, phone calls would be number one. But either way, communication home in a negative way.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
That's up there. What is it for me? Probably. I hate failing kids. I don't like it. I don't like it when I have a kid that I hate it when I have to fail a kid for a reason that's kind of out of their control, which happens every so often.
Yeah.
But I don't like failing kids. I don't like it. Stop it. Stop it, children. I want to pass all of you.
Now you do what you like. Live.
No. Failing. See, for me, failing is a part of the learning process.
I don't mind them, like, at the end when I have to give them an F, like the end of a quarter. I hate doing that.
Water off a duck's back for me.
Cool.
Because, like, yeah, and there's a whole story behind that, but, like, fail sometimes. It happens.
Good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Pick yourself back up.
Yeah.
Do it before I have to put in the final grade, though.
Yes.
That way. Yeah.
The week before the quarter ends.
Yeah, do it for the quarter end, and then we're all happy. All right, next week. Next up is Huacho Poblano, made with poblano peppers. This is my take on mole type sauce, and it is pretty thick.
Some of us can't help it. Being a little thick.
So I love mole. It's probably my top 5 favorite foods ever. Is mole.
This looks like chocolate.
And this is full of, there is Mexican chocolate, various spices, cinnamon.
So I'm not,
It's basically, I took mole and I turned it into a hot sauce.
Awesome.
And I like the results. Cheers.
All right, provecho.
All right. For this next one, I think we should have a picture up here to go with it. Brian Ross.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Lovely.
That is an excellent job of photoshopping that I did.
Yeah.
Right. So that comes from a question from my Pickett. Why are you so obsessed with Bob Ross?
A lot of different reasons. It was a big part of my childhood. Listening to Bob Ross, and he was a very calming, relaxing presence. And I think the big part that I liked the most was he's just do what feels good, right, with your paint.
Make your happy little
clouds
and your happy little, and maybe this happens, but it's okay.
Yeah, go crazy. We'll put here, and everyone needs a friend, right? And even if you made a mistake, he's well, whatever. It's now this, right? No mistakes, happy accidents. And it's the same, and that kind of attitude of you mess up, it's not a mistake, it's a learning opportunity, right? So that was a big learning and sort of internalizing thing, because I struggle a lot with perfectionism and it's not the way I want it, so throw this whole thing away. But with him, it's just just make it this now, right? This little pink mark, whatever, it's a bush now.
You have permission to not be perfect.
Yeah, and you have permission to try new things and experiment. And also he was very accessible. He got a letter from someone who was colorblind, and he's well, here we're only going to use gray colors, and let's make art with just shades of gray. And I'm this is cool. And the fact that he donated his paintings and was in general a pretty upstanding guy.
So yay, Bob Ross. Go watch some Bob Ross. All right, next wing. Our next wing is Auburn Agony. This is the sequel to a sauce from last year, which was called Apricot Embers. This one's a little spicier, and this is a picture of my wife that my child Jupiter drew, and she hates it that I make hot sauces. This is the fermentation station where I make the hot sauces, and she is real nice and doesn't throw them all away and continues to be married to me.
Fermentation station.
The fermentation station, which she hates, but I kind of love.
Well,
it smells like underarms over there, and I decided to have it in the pantry.
This doesn't smell terrible. No. But the fermentation station smells...
The fermentation station smells like fermenting onions right now.
Oh, okay.
So Cheers.
All right, here we go.
We're going for a double sauce on this one.
Good for you.
I can try shaming into things.
No.
Not saying it will work, but I gotta try.
No, I've tried to rid myself of shame.
Right.
This is why I do some of the things I do.
I think if you are, I don't know. If I had any shame at this point in my life, I wouldn't be able to do my job.
Yeah.
It is, you got to do some things. All right. Feeling good there.
Yeah, we got this, and we are not even halfway through.
We're at 4. All right. So this one comes from Tomas Lau. What is the most overrated movie?
Oh, man. Overrated movie. Who? I'm trying to think of a movie that hasn't been, like, torn apart already.
All right. Children, place your bets on what you think it will be right now. Okay.
Oh, Avatar.
Okay.
Yeah,
The first
James Cameron's Avatar. Well, both of them.
Why? I agree that they're overrated. But why the most one?
Well, like, it's Ferngully and not as good. Like, it's a story, and it's a story that should be told,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh, we're colonizers, we're the bad guys,
Yeah.
right? But like, what I like, but like he becomes one, right? Which like is kind of icky, right?
Mhm.
Like, you know, I never saw Dances with Wolves, but like I get kind of the same vibe. But like with Ferngully, like he experiences it, and then he goes home to be an advocate.
Yeah.
Right? Plus Tim Curry.
Yeah. Anytime Tim Curry's in a thing, good
Yeah.
times.
So like, yeah, it's visually nice, like cool.
Did you go see it in theaters when it was all the rage?
Did I? No.
Because I did. I saw it in 3D. My thought was, I don't understand why this movie made $1 billion.
Yeah,
It was fine.
It's pretty.
It was pretty.
But like, it's like if you take another movie that was similar, you know, same director, Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
Titanic had a lot more weight and
Mhm.
a lot more like emotion and
Mhm.
a real story of
Mhm.
like class and love, and we have an unreliable narrator and
Mm-hmm.
all this really cool stuff, and Billy Zane. But Avatar, it was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and to be fair, like I'm not, like I like film and I know a lot about film, but like I don't know a lot about the technological aspects of film.
Yeah.
So I can't say like, I don't know how far forward it pushed film.
Okay.
And I think that can
I think
be
it
an
tried.
argument.
I think it tried to. There was that whole everything's got a 3D version of it that happened in a while. Like I saw The Dark Knight Rises in 3D on an IMAX screen the night it came out.
I saw the Hobbit, the Battle of Five Armies in 3D, and it was I left upset for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, it just reminded me like every now and then 3D shows up.
Mhm.
Like, because I remember, I don't know if you do, but like in the 90s there was a big
I remember,
3D
and you,
push,
yeah, I remember the 3D
right?
thing. It
and
happened.
It was blue and green.
I remember.
Or blue and red.
Yeah, and you put on the glasses. You get them from 7-Eleven.
Yeah, and they were like plastic.
Yeah,
cardboard.
they were real good. They were real good. I had a 3D TV. I had my PlayStation 3. There were games that would play in 3D, and you could play the Arkham games in 3D. But
Arkham would be fun.
but it was at 30 FPS. But it was actually really fun. And then what else was in 3D? Shadow of the Colossus. Did you ever play Shadow of the Colossus?
So
Not an
have it.
overrated game.
I have
Underrated.
It. Yeah, I have it. I've had it for years, and I haven't played it yet.
Oh man.
That being said, sometimes in D&D Club I'll play the music.
If I bring up games, what's the most overrated game?
Those Call of Duty or
Okay.
Fortnite. Like overrated games, like that's an easy conversation. Like movies though, like because there's some more. Like you could argue about whether it pushed film technology this way or it pushed film technology that way, but like I remember having a conversation. I have this conversation every so often about like the evolution of first-person shooters and why like a lot of people hate hate on Halo for what it was, and like that's fair.
Yeah.
You know, like you start your Xbox,
Yeah.
you know, lobby, terrible toxic community. It kind of really starts with Halo.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that Halo did is that it limited your loadout. It was the first game that stopped you from having every weapon in the game.
Yeah. Which, like in Doom, because that's what I started with, was in Doom. I remember getting Doom on like our old 386X computer, and it blew my mind. But you carried every weapon all of the time,
and it was in the center.
And playing Halo for the first time confused me, and I did not like it because I was so used to Doom and then GoldenEye.
Yeah, and in GoldenEye you can carry every weapon, and what GoldenEye did was it off-centered it, and you could aim. You could zoom in and aim. And also GoldenEye started multiplayer, right? Like
oh man,
like
GoldenEye
local multiplayer.
GoldenEye parties.
Yeah.
I am 42. You are 36. So we are right. You were younger. I was older, but we both would have played GoldenEye on a couch with our friends.
And like we put up. I remember at one point we were just doing 2-player, and I think we put like a cardboard box.
Yep.
So that we couldn't.
So you can't see the other one.
Screen snipe.
Yeah. Good times. Lots of fun. All right, next week, less fun. This one is Pina Colada, which is, I tried to make one that tasted like Pina Colada. I'm not sure if I reached it. It has coconut in it. So, yep.
Brr. Compromiso. I hope that came up well on the audio.
Excellent.
All right.
We can keep a counter.
It's gonna. We should. That would be what, number 2? Two
keep a counter.
So far. We should.
Bagheera is smiling off camera.
Just
so you know.
It's gonna be so bad. Like all my students know. It's bad. Okay.
All right.
Here we go. There's a pina.
It's hard to capture the colada.
Oh, I'm sensing some. I'm sensing some colada.
I got Ms. Taggart to stalk you and find some interesting pictures from your social media feed.
Awesome.
So this is a recurring bit that I don't have a name for right now. So we should see some stock book. I like that. Stock book. We're going to take it. So your job, we got these pictures. Give us a little context.
So this was when I was in South Korea. I was teaching English. And they would sometimes take us out on these like cultural excursions. And this was, I want to say it was when we were still in training. And I can't remember where it was. So it must have been, it was either in Seoul or Busan.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a fun little place. They actually had a churro stand there.
Okay.
And so, and that was the first time.
In Korea?
Yeah. Yeah, it was fascinating. But that was the first time we had ever seen like wings and on like a wall for a thing, and because it's Korea, it was a foot lower than where my shoulders are.
So they were coming out of your.
So they're coming out of like my mid back, which makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, you'd be able to actually move your arms.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that was like the first one, and I didn't want to do like a little like demure angel thingy. I was like, no, I am Hawkman. Savage Hawkman from DC comic books with my mace.
Harvey. Crap, what's the name of the show?
Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Oh, I love Harvey Birdman. Yeah.
That's your Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. That's a video game I never beat.
They made a video game after that?
They did. It's like
oh my gosh, I didn't know they made a video game. I kind of want to play it.
It's like the Ace Attorney video games.
Okay, that's cool. Next picture.
Oh, so this was in Denmark, as you can see, because I'm wearing a Denmark hat.
Mm-hmm.
That pastry is called a frog because it looks like a frog.
Okay.
It is a chocolate cake with marzipan on top made to look like a frog.
Okay.
And that day we went to where the North Sea and the Baltic Sea met.
Okay.
So I went out on the peninsula and jumped into both. So that's why I'm wearing swim trunks.
Oh, okay. I just thought you had shorts on.
Yep. No, those are my trunks. And
you got your frog cake.
Yep. Kai cake.
Kai cake.
Yep.
Cool.
My younger brother speaks Danish.
Oh.
So we went with him, and it was cool. It was really cool because that's also like my heritage. So like both my mother's family and my father's family come from Denmark.
Okay.
So we went to
crap!
those.
We're probably related.
Probably.
My ancestors come from England and Denmark.
Yeah, we went to the villages where we traced back our ancestry as far back as we could.
Yeah.
So that was really, really neat.
The baldness, the beardiness, the English teacheriness,
Yeah.
and I used to wear glasses.
Yeah.
So English. DaVinci has a type when it comes to English teachers that are male, and it tends to be balded beard guys. All right, next picture.
Oh, this was my engagement. This is the best picture of my engagement, hands down. So this was up at Snowbird.
Okay.
And so that's Eddie. That's my stepson. He's making that face because there are some rocks.
He's not making that face because of you guys.
Oh no.
Okay, because
No,
that's
he
what I
has
thought.
he had no idea what was happening.
All right.
He just wanted to climb on rocks, and we
Okay.
were like, "Don't climb just yet."
Okay.
'Cause he was. This was in 2020.
Okay.
Because I had been dating Jen for a year, so he was 7.
Okay.
He's 7 in that picture, and he just wanted to climb on rocks, and because he has autism, and God, he's so fun though. He's so much fun. I love that kid so much.
He's about 11 or 12.
So he's 11 now.
Cool.
And now he's got long hair, because of course he does. Rubbing it in my face and stuff. But he just wanted to climb on rocks. But like that picture is just, and so my sister was taking these pictures.
Okay.
Because like every young man should know, you should know the answer to that question before you ask it.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
So-
Just don't ask that question unless you know.
So I knew she was going to say yes, and so I had like put myself into panic because it was a beautiful day, but as you can see, it's like going to rain.
Yeah.
And that lookout point is beautiful, and
Yeah.
and the hike, like it's a very flat.
You said Snowbird, right?
Yeah, it's Snowbird.
Okay.
So it's a very flat hike, and it's paved, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Right. So it was all very, very beautiful, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And so I got the little box, but it was just a little cardboard box.
Yeah.
And like an idiot, I took the cotton out because I don't know why, but I took the cotton out. So I'm walking with the box, and the ring is going ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk every step I take. And Jen is like, what is in his pocket? I don't understand. So we got there, and she's looking. We're taking pictures. My sister's there. And then I get down on one knee and propose, and she immediately starts laughing because what you can't see in this picture is we're both wearing heavy metal shirts. Like,
Oh.
I'm wearing Dragon Force, and
Nice.
I think she's not wearing Rob Zombie, but she's wearing another metal band.
Okay.
And so, like, I'm in shorts and sandals, and she's in metal gear, and Eddie is just wanting to run around on as many rocks as he can.
Oh,
And
for
so-
it's a Panther shirt. I thought he had on a Pantera shirt for half a second.
No. Well, I
Maybe.
don't know. He might like this. He wouldn't like the music, but he would definitely like the style, maybe.
Yeah.
No, his favorite band is AWOL Nation.
Okay.
So,
A little different than Pantera.
yeah.
All right, next picture.
So this was after I got back from Korea. And my sister
What
had...
happened to your chin?
I shaved.
Oh, okay.
And so I've got a little thing on my chin, like a little like bump. It's like
Okay.
a skin tag, but not quite a skin tag. It's like a, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can zoom in enough on my little chin. It's like right here in the center.
All right.
Right there. But anyway, that's another reason why I grow my beard is because
Yeah.
whenever I shave, I nick it.
Okay.
And it just bleeds.
All right. I thought
So-
the knife in the picture had something to do with it.
No, that's just a butter knife.
Okay.
And then my sister had knitted that scarf, or what is going to become a scarf, and I just put it on my head, and we took a picture because it was funny.
Next week.
Okay.
Our next sauce is Dragon's Breath. This is currently the signature breath. I found a signature breath. The signature sauce. I found a pepper called Dragon's Breath.
Cool.
And I got a bunch of those. And then it's got all the garlic because it will
Oh,
make your
good.
breath smell. So it's super garlicky
Love it.
and moderately spicy.
Okay, I love garlic.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. This is number 6. Cheers. Oh, and it's honey fermented garlic. That's what it is.
I'm like, this is sweet. And then the garlic hit. I'm like, yay. I know the spice is hitting. And I'm like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of want some more though. No, I don't. Never mind. It hit again. It's another wave.
I feel like this one's kind of it always hits me in the back of my throat.
Yo. I'm getting it. I'm gonna cry.
It's okay. You can let it out.
I'm secure enough in my masculinity. I can cry.
Yeah. I have wept on this show a couple times, so it's totally fine. The Bradshaw episode, cue the flashback, and I cried a bit on that one.
My lips are burning. That's such a bad idea.
You don't let it hit the air.
Yeah.
Don't let it hit the air. Okay, so we get our music questions now. Cool. Mr. Davis, our music teacher, wants to know what it's like to learn drums, especially if it feels like a bunch of different actions at the same time, or if it all kind of just melds together and you don't think about it.
It starts as individual movements because you need to get something with the tempo.
Mm-hmm.
So in rock, it's the snare. In jazz, it's the hi-hat. In salsa, it's the congos.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you get the tempo, and the important rhythm, then it just flows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like you have two options. You can play what you feel is supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Or you do what Miles Davis said and you play what's not there.
Yeah.
And so instead of doing something expected, maybe like a snare fill, you do a hi-hat open to tom fill to throw people around.
We got a tier. We can get up on that one. That's a good tier, by the way.
Yeah. It's like that one old 70s commercial.
The
Native American tier.
Watching the landfill.
Yeah.
All right. Do you end up thinking about it? So if I'm playing guitar, I didn't realize I don't really think about rhythm. Like I'm not going 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 in my head. I'm just kind of letting my hand do stuff, and it makes the sounds I want it to. If I'm going with rhythm, are you thinking about? Because when I play drums, and I am bad at it, I am thinking, I am counting, and I don't feel natural with it. Whereas like on a guitar, I feel pretty natural.
At this point, it has become second nature.
Yeah.
Where I only count if I know it's in a weird time signature. Everything else for me, like, because my best friend was a rhythm guitar player. That was where his focus was rhythm guitar. So he and I would always get in sync. And this is also emotional, so I'm going to cry because, like, anyway, but it just became a point for me where it became less of counting. Because we've played now for a bit, and counting is not something I do naturally. It's I go for the feel.
Yeah.
And so, and I know
don't touch your eyes, by the way. I just about did that, and you've been going up there.
Yeah. I did this.
Oh, it's bad idea.
And it was in my eyes. It's a great video for Bad Apple by Olin Rogers. Highly recommend it. But for me now, it's at the point of feeling, which is why I like bands like Dream Theater and Thank You Scientist.
Yeah.
Who play with that feel of like time signatures, where they'll go from 4/4 to something like 6/4, or then 12, something. Yeah, I go for feel more than anything because, like, I go for feel more than counting.
All right. Aside from drums, what's your favorite musical instrument? I freaking love cello. I think the cello is the most beautiful sounding instrument on the planet. Nothing is as melancholy. There's a game called Journey, and the soundtrack for that is almost entirely cello, and it is one of my favorite compositions ever made. So I love cello. I love cello.
I think I want to say French horn.
Okay, why?
Because it comes in.
Because I did not expect that answer.
It comes in with such like gravity when it comes in. Because like a trumpet is like, it's like a rapier that comes in and it's like
Yeah.
Right. And a trombone is like a spear. You slide.
Yeah.
But like a French horn is like the king that comes in.
Okay, like triumphant and bright.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of like a
commanding.
Yeah, it is, and like you want to save it for those moments, like Riders of Doom from Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Right, and the chorus comes in, but it's that moment of like bump, and the riders show up, and the in the movie the Viking guy like runs up, stands on a rock, and points at the village where Conan lives.
Yeah.
It's that signal.
Yeah.
And
I can't make the sound, but
yeah. And so I think French horn, when used appropriately,
I like that answer.
Favorite.
That's a cool answer. I've never thought of instruments as like weapons of war.
Yeah, well, I got on like a tangent about horns in battle and like.
But I mean, it makes sense because musical instruments were used in battle to synchronize your troops and send signals to each other. You did with like whistles and stuff with the Mongols. Yeah, like that was a whole thing.
And like Celtics used it for like psychological warfare because they had that like super long one that was like, right.
And when you can't communicate with, via signals like radio or people can't even read. You have to somehow signal to all of your people out there. This is what we're going to do. We have to do this information. And music is this wonderful, like anybody who plays music. There's this moment, especially if you played with somebody for enough time, where you can just look at the person and they look at you, and there's this communication, and you just meld and you don't think about it, and you start creating things. And it's a wonderful, beautiful moment, and it brings people together in a way that like nothing else really does. It's hard to get 10,000 people doing exactly the same thing at one time, but you can get everybody doing a beat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like from Lord of the Rings, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With the Uruk-hai doing just beating it, but then like you've got worse. You've got like, and then the other epic thing is the Rohirrim, and the Horn of Hammerhand. With Gimli, and then they charge, and then you've got the sad one with the Haradrim, the Elven Riders, and Theoden looks camera, and he just gives the oh crap face of a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And and then the horse, I love that face. It's so sad. But yeah, French horn.
All right. For our next one, we got to get to Zuzu's 7 hot sauce, which this one has fennel. This has fennel and maple syrup.
Fennel is what Prometheus used to bring the fire down from Olympus.
I had not thought of that, but it is appropriate. It's fennel?
Fennel.
Fennel.
He hid it in a fennel stalk.
Huh. I have always read it as a bundle of like twigs. Fennel. Interesting. So I do not know if I like this sauce or not.
I know I don't.
I know. I know that it interests my brain.
This makes me think of Maker's Mark.
The
whiskey. Not that any of you should know.
No, I don't know what that is either. All right. Cheers.
tastes like licorice.
I like licorice. It's the maple syrup that throws me. And my brain doesn't know what to do with it. All right. It is now time for Songs at 7.
Right.
I'm going to tune this guitar. And up here on the screen, we should have a song that I think you know. I remember
And mi corazón.
very, very, very distinctly you channeling your inner Jack Black a couple months ago with the metal.
Mm-hmm.
And what better time to channel your inner Jack Black than when your face is full of fiery licorice. Okay, cool.
This is the greatest and best song in the world. Tribute. A long time ago, me and my buddy Kyle here, we was hitchhiking down a long and lonesome road, when all of a sudden there shined a shiny demon in the middle.
And he said, play the best song in the world, or I'll eat your souls.
Me and Kevin, we looked at each other.
And we each said,
Okay, and we played the first thing that came to our head. Just so happened to be the best song in the world. It was the best song in the world. Look into my eyes and it's easy to see. 1 and 1 make 2, 2 and 1 make 3. It was destiny. Once, 100,000 years ago, when the sun doth shine and the moon doth glow and the grass doth grow. Well, needless to say, the beast was stood.
the whip crack when his whip a tail.
And the beast was done. He asked us, be you angels? And we said, nay.
We are but men. Rock.
This is not the greatest song in the world. No, this is just a tribute. Couldn't remember the greatest song in the world. No, no, this is a tribute. No, to the greatest song in the world. Alright, it was the greatest song in the world. Alright, yeah, it was just the best freaking the greatest song in the world. Alright. And the peculiar thing is this, my friends, the song we sang on that fateful night, it didn't actually sound anything like this song! This is just a tribute, you gotta believe me, and I wish you were there. It's just a matter of opinion. Good God, gotta love it all, and just surprised to find you can't stop it now. A fiery ring of fire, rich mother, Alright! Alright! I got the measure!
Oh, it's from Never.
Yeah, it's a little. That actually singing helped with the spice. Oh, I love tenacity.
Cool.
Gonna put that off to the side. I don't need that.
You don't need that in your life anymore.
I don't. Yeah, that can go. That can go. All right, three more.
3 more. All right.
Oh,
Our next sauce is Scorpion Delight. This is a peach barbecue sauce base made with scorpion peppers. So if you taste real hard, you can taste the peaches, which I grew. It came off a tree in my yard.
God. It smells.
I like the smell of this one, but I'm biased because I actually made this one.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers. I feel like this one kind of peaks us out a little bit.
I think so, yeah.
Then after that, your face is just kind of like, I don't care anymore. I've given up. All right. Our next question is, if you could learn 3 languages instantly, what would they be and why?
Japanese.
Okay.
Because I like video games and anime.
Do you watch... I play video games that are in their original language if I can.
Let's see. Danish. Heritage reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn an African.
Oh, what's the name of the one it's in?
Because they use the
clink. What's the one in South Africa?
The one that Trevor Noah knows.
Yeah.
That's the one I want.
Oh.
I wish I could remember it.
Elsa?
Huh?
Elsa?
Maybe.
Something like that?
I couldn't remember.
I should know. I wrote.
Couldn't remember the language that I wanted to learn. No! It's from Africa!
It's the greatest language in the world. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one. Because it's cool.
It's like... Here's the weird thing with languages. So, like, human beings, every human baby, even deaf babies, will make every sound that a human can make. And they'll make the click languages, and they'll make every sound you can think of. I was reading a thing the other day. English has 6,900-ish possible syllables. Japanese has 600 or 700. It's like 10 times more. And I don't know how many are in the click languages. But it's weird that a baby will make all these things and then they'll watch a human being, like their mom or dad or whatever, and the responses that you make to them, because we're not going to go, oh, you're saying mama, when you make yo.
Right.
And then they differentiate those things out. And then if you don't learn them when you're young enough, it's real hard to develop an ear for it. I don't know.
Yeah, that was something I noticed when I was in Korea teaching English, because they have one symbol for the and sound. And so they all, that's where you get the flight lice.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and what's interesting is that some other, like in Spanish, Puerto Rico, that's one of the Puerto Rican accents, is Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And so, everything's on fire. Yeah, and so like English struggles with like the
yeah,
and a couple others like the heart, like
the
it's fun.
We don't roll our R's and we don't make sounds in the back of our throat.
Yeah, we don't go, but like I was gonna say we don't use the hard R, but because it's the ra 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 like rico and pera, right? Perro, right? Which is a harder R because it's closer to the L and it hits the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
Right here. And so, but like we also don't use the zh.
That's true.
Right.
We use je, but we
use ja,
and there's a little bit of, but we don't have the zh. Yeah, I can't even make the sound.
Right. We don't draw it out like Giacomo. Right?
Yeah. Our next sauce is Uncle Joe's Afterlife. This one is named after my brother-in-law, Joe. Oh, God. That was poor decision making. It is a Carolina mustard-based barbecue sauce made with lots and lots and lots of Carolina Reapers.
That was 6 for those who were counting.
And he has a little tiki bar in his house called the Afterlife Bar. So we named this Uncle Joe's.
Just give this one a little tap, tap, tap.
A little tappy. You were much, much more judicious and intelligent about this one. I regret my decisions.
I must not fear. There's a one color. There's a last one full of I will face my fear. All the familiar to pass through me and over me. I'm going to turn my ear to the path. There's nothing. The fear will not remain. Only I will remain.
Oh. Where's my chi here for a sec?
I must not fear. Here's my...
Okay. Here come the D&D questions.
My uvula. Okay.
What is your favorite class?
Bard. Not even a question.
Why? I love Bard personally.
Oh, because they're a jack of all trades. They can fill. They can fill any role that's needed in a party. So if you need sneaky skill person, they can sneak. If you need a healer, they've got some healing spots. If you need spell casting for trickery or what have you, they can do that. The only thing they can't do is be in front.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine. Because if nobody else in the party can be in front, your entire party is set up to just take things from as far away as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then nobody needs to be in front. But they can duel, right? And their support, and I like lifting people up.
Mm-hmm.
Bardic inspiration.
Do you have a favorite D&D campaign that you've ever done?
Oh man, that is. Oh, there's two. One was 3.5. Mm-hmm. So I played a character when I was 9, and I played him for a year, and we had to kill him because my DM was also new and poorly balanced. Wrecked me as a kid. So then, it must have been 8 years later, 3.5 comes out. And we're like, let's take him from 2nd edition, right? So I played him before 3rd edition even came out. So this was mid-90s. Let's take him from 2nd edition and put him in 3.5. So we leveled him appropriately and turned him into a half-dragon character, which is what I always wanted him to be in the first place.
Okay.
And then put him as far away from his homeland as possible, because the story was that he had defeated this epic level bad guy, but died in the process, which did happen in the game.
Yeah.
And it was just a roll. He failed his death saving throw and died. But what happened is they then built a statue of him and put his soul into the statue, with the promise that should anything threaten this Kingdom of Dragons again, he would return.
Okay.
But something had happened, and his statue was moved to the other side of the world, sold at an auction.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he wakes up and it's just like, I need to get home.
Okay.
And so the whole campaign was just getting from point A to point B. And picking up fun and interesting characters along the way.
That's fun.
And all the while, these portals are opening up to different planes in the multiverse, and these planar dragons are coming through. So you've got one that's made of complete shadow from the plane of shadow. You have this epic level lich type dragon that is bone and rotting corpse from the plane of death. And so all these planar dragons are coming through, and we're still not equipped because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's bringing the dragons here, so we have to run. So we had to keep. So we would go, we would fight, we would win a thing, and then a dragon would show up, and we'd be like, we have to leave. And it sucks because we're leaving innocent people to die.
Yeah.
And so my character just got angry and angry and angry as time was on. And when we got there, one of the characters that he had killed back when I was a kid had come back to life and had turned traitor and was ravaging the kingdom. And I'm like, I'm going to kill you. And so then so it was super, super cool and very cathartic. And unfortunately, we never got to finish it because of how certain things kind of happened, scheduling, more or less.
Yeah.
But, and then the second one I liked best was one we actually finished.
Yeah.
It was in 4th edition, and it was the first one I got to play through with my younger brother, who's one of my favorite people of all time. Yeah. And we were looking for a guy who was kidnapping children. That was the whole campaign. Was us trying to find this guy who had kidnapped children. And we went to his hideout and he wasn't there, but we found out where he was going. So then we were just chasing him. So it was this giant chase to find this guy. And so we had to go underground and we found the city where he was also stealing children from them. And so it took us, to a pretty high level, and then we come above ground and we found him. And there are the kids, and we were able to kill him and rescue the kids. But as he died, he's like, "Oh, my master, blah blah blah." And we decided, you know what? Forget his master. We need to get these kids back home and call it a day.
Uh-huh.
And it was really fun because Dane got to, let's see. So Dane would have been 14, and I was 21, 22 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a really cool bonding experience between me, my younger brother, my older sister, my best friend, and my 2 best friends. And my cousin, Landon was there, my cousin, and Jace was there. And so it was my favorite people doing one of our favorite activities, bonding. And it was really cool because it was a toned down story. We weren't fighting to save the world. We were just trying to save some kids.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really neat. And we all had different reasons for going because, I was trying to restore my honor because I was a sort of a disgraced... Or no, I wasn't trying to restore my honor. I was trying to become the hero that everyone expected me to be. Because our family, were dragon knights, and because we were dragonborns, and I'm a dragon person, and we're all knights, and now it's time for me to go do my nightly heroic quest. Dane, my younger brother, the guy who stole the children was his mentor.
Yeah.
And he's like, who is he now? And why is he doing this? So I need to go find him. Jace was an assassin who was paid to go find the kids. And Landon... Was Landon there?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Landon was there.
Told me, yeah.
Or maybe he wasn't. He wasn't because there was only 3 of us and we needed a healer. And the healer was an NPC. So Landon wasn't there. Landon showed up in a different one. Landon's one of my favorite people. He's my cousin.
I have a nephew named Landon. He is 5. I'm not sure how that word fits into it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Way to.
But yeah, those 2 are definitely my favorite.
All right. I found an article to see if you are which D&D character you are. It is very accurate because it's from BuzzFeed.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see if you are actually a bard. So your job is to choose. We've got we choose an image. So we've got 4 images. Which one or 5 images?
I had the doggo.
All right, you're going on a date. You want to go to date, movies, hiking, gym, something extraordinary. Listen to a speaker or a poet.
Well, I proposed on a hike, so I'm gonna go with a
park. Okay,
park.
Cool. You hear your parents fighting in the other room. What do? Go outside, confront them, read a book, ask them for guidance, try to meditate.
When that happened, I read a book.
I went outside. Pick a food. I think it's a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, that's a grilled cheese.
Some sort of salad-looking dilly, fried stuff like chicken nuggies, fancy-looking soup.
That's bread.
And some bread. Or is that...
That's
no,
fish.
that's a steak. That's... I don't know.
That's fish.
I don't know
what
bread. Food I'm looking at.
Chicken nuggies.
Okay. I'm taking grilled cheese, man. And pick a quote. I can do whatever I want today. You're not lost. You're here. Punched today in the face. I feel like a thing. And
I feel like a woman. Enjoy the little things.
things.
What's that? I can do whatever.
I thought it said punch me in the face today.
Yeah.
And I was like, that seems not like a great quote.
I'm going to go with you're not lost, you're here.
Okay.
Because I know where I am. Here is where the problem is, right?
Lastly, where do you live? Or so you have to pick a place to live, not where you currently live.
Somewhere to live. I feel like these aren't diverse enough.
I want the place with the most trees.
Is that like a duplex?
With the one on the top left?
Top left, up one? Yeah. Is that it?
I don't know. It just looks British to me.
You know, let's do the white picket fence, that one with in autumn, because it.
All right.
Paladin
you're a paladin.
You know
what? But you like helping people.
That is, to be fair, when I take this quiz every and there's several different versions of this.
Yeah.
I wind up as a cleric or a paladin.
Okay.
And cleric is my second class that I like to play as. So bard and cleric. So this does make sense to me. So
I was like bard or thief. Or if I could combine the two. We used to play DQ. And you can combine things, and that was fun. Our final sauce is coming up. The Last Stab experience made from Pepper X, the world's hottest pepper. It includes... Where is it?
Death.
Pepper X, distilled vinegar, Pepper X, pepper powder, Pepper X, pepper distillate. Which is just...
A tear from Sauron's eye!
Basically. It's 91% Pepper X.
Oh.
So it's a good time.
Right. Okay.
And the lid, ew, gross. It smells... Oh! Bad decision making all around.
That also...
Of course, go big, as Dr. Moreno would say.
This looks like chocolate.
Go big.
Chocolate caramel.
That would be the worst chocolate caramel there has ever been.
Oh my god. What? I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have done that.
You know. Mistakes, as Bob Ross would say, are just
Happy
little accidents.
It's a learning experience, right? The frizz.
Yeah.
Get messy.
Oh, okay. Cheers.
Oh.
The chicken has gotten cold.
Oh, I've gotten cold.
Oh, it got me right in the back of my throat.
Oh, I hate this.
It tastes better than the last jab, but that's not saying much.
Oh, I don't feel good.
We have ice cream if you would like some ice cream. Pull out the big boy. Ooh. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Ooh. Okay.
I'm trying not to lick my mustache because there's spice in it.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet Jesus. Caramba.
Okay. As you experience one type of pain, I'm going to ask you to experience another type of pain. And tell me how you feel about Hot Topic.
I hate it! Oh. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
I gave you another makeover.
Oh, God. Yeah!
Ask why.
There's so few things in this world I hate. But that is one of them. Oh, God. That's another. I've had to do a lot of meditation on this. About why I hate Hot Topic. Because for a long time, it was just straight up irrational hate. Mm-hmm. And then I figured it out. And it made sense. But it's a lot of context. It had to do with the emo phase in the early aughts. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I grew up in Morgan County, which is small farming even at the time. Mm-hmm. I wanted desperately to like emo music.
Yeah.
The first time I saw the first music video for I'm Not Okay by My Chemical Romance, and Gerard Way pulls out Sting, I was sold. I was like, that's a band for me.
Great music video.
And then all of the... Do we have censors? Can I swear?
We'll bleep it.
All jocks, all the sports players started loving emo music. And like, that's the turning point for nerd culture, is emo and My Chemical Romance. And so I had been picked on in middle school. I'd been picked on in the first part of high school. Then all of a sudden, all these were like, it's cool now. And I'm like, eat my butthole. Like, how dare you spend years making fun of me and making me feel like garbage to turn around and say, now it's cool. How dare you? And then they show up and start popularizing all of it. All of a sudden, my pain and suffering becomes marketed. And it was marketed to me, and I felt like I was being pandered to, and I hate that. I hate pandering. Especially when it's on something that for so long, anime, D&D, nerdy stuff, was what got me picked on. Now I recognize that that's not the lived experience of everyone. Mm-hmm. Had I gone to a different school, or grown up in a different community, I might not feel this rage. But I do. Because I did. And then it gets popular. And the other thing I hated is skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Hated. Because we used to make fun of when rappers wore their baggy pants.
Yeah, yeah.
And at least they were baggy pants. I can live with that. They could pull them up and it was functional.
Yeah.
These toothpick emo boys couldn't even pull their pants all the way up because their pants were just too tight and too small. And yet they got to date. Girls liked them. And I'm like, you guys suck. So it's really deep-seated jealousy. Like, that's really what it is.
Miss Elias, I'm currently thinking of a certain Mr. Wharton and the skinny jeans. Every time that I think of the skinny jeans, I think of Mr. Wharton. And you, if you're watching this right now, you're blushing, and that's funny. So, do you like, like other emo bands that came out? So bands like, say, I always think of The Used, because they're from Utah. And my wife loves them, which is weird, because my wife loves emo music, which you would never guess just by talking to her. What do you think of that, or did it ruin like the whole experience for you?
So I remember when The Used came out, and I remember liking them a lot. I never bought any of their music though.
Yeah.
Because I am at my core a hipster. Mm-hmm. So if it was popular, which they eventually got, it was something I rejected. Because I wanted to find just what else was out there. Because it's like, this is discovered, this is known, what else?
Yeah, yeah.
And so It was never them that bothered me, I don't think. It was always the fans.
What about Fall Out Boy?
I wanted to like Fall Out Boy. I remember when Sugar Were Going Down Swinging. I remember when the music video came out for that. Didn't realize it was actually about a comic book called Sweet Tooth.
Have you read they've got the show of Sweet Tooth. We my kid, we have all the comics, like the whole series at our house. You would enjoy it.
I'm sure I would. But what does kill me, and still does, is how unintelligible he can become, the lead singer.
Yeah.
And everything else about them is fine. But they're kind of mid for me. For me, it's more like Taking Back Sunday.
Okay.
Taking Back Sunday was really good. Who else did I like that was kind of emo? They're not really emo, but like Newfound Glory.
Yeah.
I liked them a lot. And All American Rejects, I guess. I don't know if I would count them as.
I mean, like I think more pop punk.
Yeah, they're more pop punk, and I would throw Newfound Glory and pop punk in there as well.
Mm-hmm. I guess this brings up the 10B question, which is Mr. Bradshaw's question. So why do you like ska so much?
See, ska.
Because ska was that music when I was in high school.
Yeah.
No one listened to ska, and then everyone listened to ska for 2 years. No, less than that. 1 year. My sophomore year of high school. And it was cool for 1 year, and then it wasn't. And I love ska music. There's nothing more fun than going to an Aquabat show. That is the most fun a human being can have. But it was weird to me that it went from you're a bunch of dorks to it's cool, and then you are so dorky again. And I continue to love ska music to the end of this day. I'll listen to it all the time. But
so for me, I love ska because it is very angry music.
Yeah.
But it is also very uplifting music.
Uh-huh.
It uses a lot of major chords, and you have horns blaring, and you get that sort of bah. But it's also very angry, and the history of ska itself is also very political.
Uh-huh.
And so I liked having fun, but I also felt it was really important to acknowledge how angry I was.
Yeah.
At so many things around me. And that I still am very angry about so many things around me that but some of the music, especially, Less Than Jake specifically, is very much about
I love Less Than Jake.
Don't wallow, use the anger for something. Whereas, Real Big Fish, theirs is be angry, go party about it. Mm-hmm. And the Aquabats is don't be angry, look at how fantastic the world can be.
Yeah.
Right? Even as something as mundane as school lunch, look at how kind of cool that is.
Yeah.
And then you've got Streetlight Manifesto, which is things are terrible, let's burn some stuff. I think that's 7.
7? I think.
7 or 8. And so, and it's it's upbeat, but it allows you to have fun and take a look at some of the darker, sadder parts of things, and face it head on with a trumpet, right, or a saxophone, and be like, yeah, you're there. What are you gonna do about it? It's a lot of fun.
Speaking of fun and anger, you made it.
I did it.
You got through it. You survived.
Praise Odin.
It was a time.
I got through it.
This camera, that camera, or that camera, tell DaVinci what you want him to know.
You can. Don't let the man get you down. Things are hard. But you are harder.
All right.
Take it easy, but take it.
All right. With that, congratulations. You made it. Stay spicy.